first of all, it's such a pleasure to meet you and to chat with you really quickly today.
Thank you.
Obviously, not only did you sit in the seat as executive producer of this drama series, but you too played the key role as Jason. Which seat did you prefer to sit in, the producer seat or the acting seat?
Well, my role as a producer was relatively minimal in that I sort of got involved at an early stage and helped sort of transform the book in story terms into the series, and got in, had a real privilege of being invited into the process of adding and subtracting and, imagining slightly different elements of backstory for characters. But really for this, it was the role as an actor. It was one of the hardest jobs I think I've ever done, playing two sides of the same character all day, every day for months and months, and that was a real task, but a real great challenge.
You really took us on a whirlwind roller coaster ride with your character, Jason. What would you say that you brought to this particular character that you have yet to bring forth in any other project that you've worked on over the duration of your career?
Oh, I don't know. Probably my inner science teacher. I mean, if anyone is really keen for pure great entertainment, watch two science teachers fight each other for survival, and they're both me. I mean, is that a fight you don't want to watch? I think so, right? Forget the UFC. Jason Dessen versus Jason Dessen matchup. Yeah.
Before I let you go, what is it that you would like for the world to take away from not only this series, but your role in particular?
Oh, I think people will ruminate on the choices they made in their life and how they've led them to exactly where we are, like right now, and how they feel about those things. But on a deeper level, I think it says something about gratitude, and I believe that you shouldn't have regrets, because I believe that anything you might have regretted is actually a component to who you are today, how you view the world, how you see other people. All of that is based on all of those maybe regrets and experiences that you've had, good and bad, through your life. So I believe I have no regrets. But yeah, about choices and having gratitude, and yeah. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. So nice to meet you.
Thank you.
You are one of my absolute favorites. You literally are. I refuse to leave this carpet without talking to you. You've been my favorite since He's Just Not That Into You.
Oh, thank you.
So you have to tell me, how do you continue to get better and better at what it is you do year after year?
I really needed to. I needed to get better. Some kids, I started working as a kid, and sometimes you see a kid and they're really great actors, and then they just are always great. That I was not. No, not so much. I look back and I'm like, wow, I really needed to get better. So I'm glad you think I got better.
The world thinks you got better.
Continual improvement. I keep trying to. I keep working it. I'm working it.
So you have to tell me, out of all the projects that you've worked on over the years, what was most appealing to you about this particular drama series? Like, what resonated most with you about this project?
I thought it had the potential to be a really fun, exciting show. To have these alternate realities and all these worlds to explore. So it could be have a lot of action and be visually striking and surprising and unexpected. And at the same time, it was like a beautiful ode to marriage, I thought. You have this couple at the middle of it who've been married for 20 years, and they're sorting through some things, and they kind of lose each other and have to find each other again. And that's told through this landscape of alternate realities. I thought it was a really good idea.
What would you say matters the absolute most to you, not only in life right now, but just this whole television Hollywood journey of yours? Like, what matters the absolute most to you?
My family.
How do you juggle it all?
What?
How do you juggle it all?
In the case of making this show, we filmed in Chicago, and it was kind of a long shoot. So lots of time flying back and forth. I flew home, anytime I had a day off, I'm flying home. So at minimum every weekend, and sometimes, if I have days off in between, I'm going home. I've got that little girl. I gotta, time flies. You gotta seize it when you can. She's 12. She'll be 13 soon.
Oh my God, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, can you tell the world exactly what is it that they can expect to see with your character?
With my character, I hope they like her as much as I do. I think she's a really warm, loving character, and I think she's really cool and strong. You know, she starts to kind of figure out that something's awry with her husband, and I love her process of kind of like watching it and and trying to understand, and then she goes through this like sleuthing chapter where she sorts it out, and I think she's a really strong, direct character who's I really admired.
She's very bold.
She is bold. She is bold, but she's stable. She's very grounded.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. I love the color that you're showing up in today. Oh, look at you. Look at you.
The mom twins.
Listen, let's show it off a little bit. Ooh.
You got the coordinate.
Got the coordinate. So listen, talk to me about your character throughout this season. First and foremost, how did this project come about for you? That would be my first question.
Well, I don't know. I think they do know I'm a big fan of sci-fi, but also I think David Manpearl, one of our beautiful producers who's been on it, he's shepherded it for years to make sure it came to fruition, which is always hard with IP. And I did a horror movie with him called Stay Alive when we were both beginning. Not everybody saw it. But we saw each other, I'll tell you that much. Here and now, we became tight, and then he's just like, hey, and so it was just like, that was the intro, and then I seemed to get along with the team, and then Blake Crouch, the, brilliant writer, we became thick as thieves right away, and it's just, the family expanded. It's one of those jobs. Lucky, because it's just so rare that you're expanding a family and not just going for some tertiary, temporary little like, oh, it's now, and then it's gone. I've known half these people already, and now I know them all, and we're going to stick together. It's so sweet.
I love your character. I'm so excited for the world
Thank
to
you.
see this, and
Yeah.
thank you so much for chatting with me
My
today.
pleasure.
Thank you, Twinsie.
Have a great night. Yeah, baby. Thank you.
Good.
You look amazing.
I try.
So let's do this. Do you want to know my favorite line and script of yours throughout this entire series? Because I've checked out all of the episodes.
Probably fuck my billions.
That's my
up there.
second one. That's my second
second
one.
one.
You don't even know me, bro. That is my. You don't
Yeah, that's a
even
good
know
one.
me, bro.
That's a good one.
Listen, enlighten us on what is it that we can expect to see with your character Layton throughout this series. I know, right?
Without giving away too many spoilers, because I don't know when this is coming out, but I think you're just going to see a real human being. I think what happens is sometimes the instinct might be to lean into the science fiction side of things because of the spectacle and make it look amazing and all that. But I think Blake Crouch has a really good sensitivity towards, let's keep it as grounded as possible. Let's keep it as human as possible. So we didn't use the word villain. We didn't even use the word antagonist. We just asked, who is this guy Layton? Where is he coming from? And what does he want? And what is he able to justify doing to get to the ends that he wants to? Because he's a man who's inheriting legacy, right? His grandfather started this amazing company, Velocity, that he's trying to keep going. So he wants to protect that legacy, but he also loves his friend, Jason. He loves Joel's character, truly, and also wants to preserve that relationship. And to me, that's always the best breeding ground for a story, because you create conflict there. And so the amazing thing is what is Layton going to do? Where is he going to go with that? I think that's just the amazing thing with his character. Yeah, and some amazing fits. I mean, I play a billionaire, so the fit's got to be fitting. You know what I mean? So yeah, he does some amazing things. Yeah.
Yes, and of course, before I let you go, Jason asked you a particular question in, I believe, episode 104. If you can leave this world, something along these lines,
Yes.
and go someplace else and start over, I want the real life answer. Would you?
For Layton or for Dayo?
For Dayo.
For
Yes,
Dayo.
because I know Layton said yes, but what would Dayo say?
Oh my God. Listen, I've been in therapy for a while. I'm learning to just live with life as it is. But if I could go back in time and do things differently, what would I do? Oh my God. Drink more water, eat less carbs, do a little bit more crunches. Because right now the abs are in the cooler, if you know what I'm talking about. So a lot of my bad decisions, I'm Nigerian. We eat a lot of jollof rice, a lot of pounded yam and egusi. I just go back and maybe eat a cup of jollof instead of 5. You know what I mean? Go a little bit easy on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? So yeah, that'll be mine.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dayo. I love your character.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
blessed. Genuinely so blessed.
I have to start by saying you look amazing.
Thank you so
You are
much.
so dapper. I am just like feeling this mini tie, the collar shirt, the leather, the hair. So you played the role of Charlie
Yes.
in this 9-episode drama series. You have to tell me, what was this entire process like for you from like start to finish? It's such a huge series to be a part of.
Yeah. I mean, something for me is I've done TV before, but for me this was my first long-term project like this. So we were filming for like 6 months, and I've filmed film projects before that take some time like that. But filming a series for that long is definitely a unique experience. You really get to learn a lot about your co-stars and really connect with the crew in a lot of ways, but also, really develop a character from the ground up because you have so much time to work on that character. So it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
And congratulations and happy birthday. I love your amazing 16th birthday gift. The card that you got right. But listen, did you not pick up on the fact that your mom was not on track with your father, Jason, in episode 104 when he gifted you that red car?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that was such a fun scene to film, actually. I loved that entire sequence. But, yeah, I mean, that was a really cool little scene to film, yeah.
And before I let you go, what was it like working so closely with Joel on this project?
Joel is, genuinely one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's just, he doesn't even mean to be funny. He's just funny casually, and he's such an amazing, nice guy to work with. So it was incredible, and he's so experienced, and working with someone like that, it's always cool as a younger actor to see that, and to learn from direct experience like that. So it's amazing.
I love your character, Charlie. Congratulations on everything, and I look forward to the world seeing you in this project, in this series.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Blake, I just literally want to scream for you.
You can do that.
Will you scream with me?
Woo!
Blake, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
You have to tell me, what does this moment feel like for you, seeing such a phenomenal project come to life based off a novel that you wrote years ago?
It is surreal defined. It's literally 10 years in the making. 10 years ago this month, the first idea of this book came about when I was sitting at a bar in Chicago with a friend of mine. And
So we have to pause there. Do you remember which bar? I'm from Chicago.
yeah,
So
Longman
talk-
and Eagle in Logan Square. Longman and Eagle, sitting in that bar, and dark matter just came out of the fog to me. Like literally one of those hairs on the back of your neck moments, and it does not happen. Usually coming up with ideas, stories, it's hard, and you finally get there. This was like, God walked through the room.
Blake, I'm so interested to hear, do you feel like the executive producers, the showrunners, writers, directors served your novel purpose with the cast that they lined up?
Yeah.
Joel, Jennifer.
I cast them. I show ran the show. I cast them. So I wrote the show. So I'm beyond happy, and I think it's part of why we were able to get this level of cast behind us, because they want to work with the person who literally was there at the inception. And hats off to Apple and Sony for trusting a novelist to do it, because that does not happen very often. Yeah.
And if you can go back and tell me one of the most gratifying steps and or episodes for you throughout this entire process, what would the most gratifying part of this project be for you?
I mean, it was probably the day that we found Joel, but because we didn't find him. It was an incoming phone call to us. We had not even begun to cast Jason Destin yet, and we got a call out of the blue from Joel's agent saying, Joel read the book, heard there's a show. Do y'all want to talk? We were like, hell yeah, we want to talk. And we got on this Zoom, and suddenly I was texting with Matt Tolmach, my executive producer. We're offline, like, oh my God, this is Jason. Be cool. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so
deserve
much.
to be celebrated tonight.
Oh my God,
I
thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you at the after party.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on everything, Blake. Congrats, congrats, congrats.
Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you.
Likewise.
This is definitely the place to show up and show out.
Sure, of course.
So listen, you're
Yeah.
the composer behind the scenes of this amazing drama series. What would you like working on this project from you from start to finish?
What was
it like
what was
working
it
on
like?
this project?
I mean, it was great from the get-go because the show was filmed before so it was filmed and mostly edited the first time I got to see it, which isn't always the case. Sometimes you start early. And so I got to see how incredible it was right off the get-go. And so it was very inspiring, and instantly we just started coming up with all this, I think, incredible music. And they were wonderful. Blake was incredible about just letting us go and find the most unique and original place with it, tonality-wise. And so the tapestry, I think, is very unique and very original.
Did you have score for a particular episode that stood out the absolute most to you that you thoroughly enjoyed working on?
I loved them all, but there's certain pieces that I really love. Like the end of, there's a piece called Loose Ends at the end of episode 6. That sort of like is the big climax ending that I absolutely love. It'll be second on the soundtrack album that's coming out in the same day. I love the title sequence is incredible as well. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
On first and foremost, an amazing series.
Thank you.
So my first question definitely would be about Chicago. This series was filmed in Chicago.
Yes, it was.
I'm originally from Chicago.
I went to
so
school
you need
downstate in Chicago,
Listen,
University of Illinois. I know
the
it well.
best of the best, the best of the best, David. So you have to tell me why Chicago? What made you choose this amazing city?
Well, first of all, the book is set in Chicago intentionally. Blake also fell in love with the city and came up with the idea for Dark Matter in Chicago. So there was no way we were ever going to set this series anywhere else. It had to be Chicago. Chicago's a character. Chicago's in the DNA of the book and the idea, and there was no other option. It was Chicago. That's it.
And I love that. That's like an excellent pivot into my next question. In what ways would you say that this drama series differs from the novel written by Blake?
It's a great question. Without giving too much away, we are exploring certain storylines in the book that were not able to be explored given just the space of a novel. So a lot of it is incredibly faithful, given Blake, our amazing leader, adapted his own work. But he was able to do things that I think he wished he could have done in the book, but you just run out of pages to do it in. So we were able to expand on some things that I think the fans of the book will be incredibly happy to see.
I'm obsessed with every episode.
Oh,
I am
good.
fortunate. I was able to check out
all
the entire
not
series.
great. Okay, no
before
spoilers,
the
right?
World. Absolutely no spoilers.
Good.
But maybe a little bit here.
Okay. Uh-oh.
My favorite
Don't get me in trouble.
I'm not going to get you in trouble. My favorite episode was 104. I have
I
to know,
just
David,
mentioned
talk
that.
to me about that snow and talk to me about that blizzard. Was that live shot? Because I'm from Chicago, so I know how that weather is.
Yep.
But was that the amazing, great works of the cinematography team?
We had some help from cinematography and visual effects and special effects. Strangely, Chicago was incredibly warm when we shot, and we had a really late winter. So getting that actual weather was a little bit challenging, which is strange to say in Chicago. So we needed a little bit of help with that. But I think, as you saw, I think it turned out quite well.
Two more really quick questions before I let you go. What made Joel your key guy and the star for this series, and why did we close it out at 9 episodes? Because we could have went on to episode 11, 10, 12, 15,
Then
16.
would there be another season of television? We have to leave people with more, perhaps. You never know. And Joel is the quintessential everyman. Joel is the best friend, your buddy, your brother, and you believe him as a scientist. You believe him as a husband. You believe him as the best friend. You have great sympathy, empathy for Joel as an actor and as a person, and we wanted that in Jason, and then the ability to play other versions of himself, which may pop up somewhere in the show. I don't know, but Joel is special, and there was nobody else but Joel.
Well, again, congratulations, and thank you so much for chatting with me today, David.
Thank you so much.
Tonight is all about you, so tell me what's going on. How are you feeling?
Just feeling, I mean, this is Hollywood, you know, these are the nights. I love this, and I'm really, really happy for Blake. You know, this has been, I was sent this book 10 years ago, and this was a journey. I mean, it really was, and he was just the greatest partner, you know, to take the ride with. And we started this as a movie. We tried to make it as a movie for 3 years. We decided it couldn't fit into a movie box, and that because it wanted to be more, we pivoted and turned it into a television show. And so it's just been an amazing ride, and I couldn't be happier with where we ended up.
And so talk to me, because that was actually going to be one of the questions that I had for you.
Yeah.
Deciding whether or not this was going to be an actual film or a series, what was that determining factor for yourself and the team?
It was when we were happy with the script we were developing for the movie, but we kept having to lose things. Because if you think about the novel, there's so many characters, spoiler alert, and there's also so many worlds. And there just wasn't room for it. And what happened was you sort of lost the emotional connection to the characters, because you didn't feel Jason's incredible longing over many worlds, and it all got compressed. And we just felt like this isn't dark matter. And so as soon as we pivoted to making it a TV show, and it's interesting, the guys Jamie and Zach, who run Apple, were running Sony TV when we were, and I have a deal at Sony TV, and they were fans of the book, and they kept saying, this is a TV show, trust us. So we gave it to them, and then they went off to run Apple, and it was like, okay, so here we are. And that was really fortunate, but it was an amazing journey. And I actually think that the show or the book or whatever just kind of demanded that it become this. You know what I mean? We sort of followed that.
Yeah, and I love that. So quickly talk to me about the transitioning aspect of this project. Flipping between scenes in every episode from the past and the present. Talk to me about that creative approach that not only yourself, but the cinematography team, the directors, the writers took when it came to this aspect of the project.
It's a great question. I mean, the changes, some of them are incredibly subtle. Some of them are massive. And we were very, very deliberate about how, and then it becomes complicated. I mean, you never want to confuse the audience. So you want the audience to understand what you're doing, but at the same time, you're trying to be subtle. Because there is an element of frustration and confusion on the part of Jason. So the production design, this Patricio, who's our production designer, was so critical and so good and so nuanced. But it became a character, in terms of defining each world and where you're shooting. And sometimes you're shooting in one world and then you're walking over here and you're shooting. And so you also have to sort of keep dialing in. It was complicated.
Matt, before I let you go, I am a Chicago native, so I need to know, did you guys pretty much stay inland when it came to the filming of episodes to get that little bit of a spoiler alert, the big visual, effects from the tall buildings in the inland parts of Chicago? Did you go to the suburban areas?
We shot mostly inland. I mean, we were, the whole show was shot in Chicago entirely. The very end, I feel like in the last episode we were in Lake Forest or something, but really downtown. I mean, we really were. And then we had a great stage, which forget what part of town that was called, but we were there a lot too. But no, I mean, we were really in it. I mean, it was as Blake said, it was a love letter to Chicago. It's where he came up with the idea.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matt. Congratulations on the amazing series. Thank you.